Welcome everyone to the 2022 Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship. I'm Brent Lang and you're stuck with just me tonight. Randy needed a break. He's the guy who does everything at this event, so he's taking a well-deserved breather. But we've got more action tonight. British Columbia versus Northern Ontario on Sheet C. Should be a good one. We'll try and keep you up to date on the rest of the games as well, but looking forward to commentating my first women's game of the week. Lots of ongoing action today. One of the big events of today was my first ever lobster boil. I wasn't sure what that was, but I had an idea that lobster included lots of fresh Nova Scotia lobster, and I was correct. So we had a great time over at the Yarmouth Curling Club. We're coming to you here from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. And as always, the Nova Scotia hospitality has been fantastic. So let's get down to the action. We've got BC with the hammer in the first end. So here we go with Northern Ontario. I believe the call was a centerline guard. Going to get after it right away here. Northern Ontario lead here. Deanna Hicklin has been asked by skip Tracy Larocque to throw the centerline guard. I'm not familiar with much of the Northern Ontario team outside of Tracy. We spent some time in Las Vegas. They won the Everest Club Curling Championships last year, and I was fortunate enough to travel with those teams down to Vegas. And as Everest does in first-class fashion, they took the two winners from last year down to Vegas, and we watched the opening weekend at the World Men's Curling Championship. I can tell you that Tracy loves the on-ice part of the curling as well as her team, so I expect nothing but good camaraderie on the ice tonight here. So first one slipped into the rings. We're calling a takeout here from Team BC, a hit and roll out. And I met the BC ladies team today, and all they did was threaten me and tell me that I better be nice to them on the air. So if I'm not feeling genuine and honest tonight, it's because I've been threatened. But obviously that's tongue in cheek. But I saw them over at the Lobster Boil, and they're super, super excited to be here. Everybody is super excited to be here this week, just getting treated like royalty. So hopefully we got a great game to call here tonight.
Yeah, it's looking good, looking good. It's starting to overcurl, so just leave it. Okay, good D.
So second chance for Deanna as Tracy calls her D for the centerline guard, and no mistake this time. BC lead Kathy Chapman's been asked for the come around here. You can see how much ice they're taking. The ice has been fantastic. I mean, like I said, I've only been here today, but all accounts have been that the ice is very, very good. They are playing some games at the Yarmouth Curling Club, and I got to watch a legend, Al Hackner, this afternoon pulled out a victory after a slow start, and the ice at the Curling Club looks quite good as well. This one looks a little bit strong, and I think it's going to leave a free come around for Northern Ontario here. Our first look at second stone, Lisa Penner with the intern come around. Early opportunity for Northern Ontario.
Okay, where's the way? Because it's looked good. You got room right now.
They like the line. Sweepers aren't sweeping it, but it looks pretty close.
Yep. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa.
And you can see the curl there. The weight is good. Got by the guard by a little bit, but it's wide open on the over curl, so a chance for BC to play the hit and roll. Reading up on Team BC before the game, they did want to say that they have plenty of friends and family watching. Just to add more pressure on my commentating here, I got to be extra special and extra nice, as I mentioned. But they wanted to say hi to everybody back on the Pacific Coast and to say thanks very much for the support. Close on the hit and roll here, a little bit. Those inside paths in between the draw paths, tighter to the edge of the forefoot, usually curl a lot more in that first end. And they also wanted to make sure that I gave a shout out to Gary Sigurdsson, who is an accomplished curler of many years and has been coaching them, but unfortunately couldn't make the trip out to Nova Scotia. So Gary, the ladies are thinking of you and really appreciate your support. Another chance for the free come around here. Looks pretty good to me. don't really have to worry about it curling enough, so it's just really a matter of getting the weight right, because it's always going to curl, but great come around on her second chance. I'd probably have the opportunity to chase here, but certainly can see a lot less than on the first one.
Okay, just take it off. Well, we can, yeah.
So you can see Leanne's just decided to peel the guard. Sounds like she floated this one a little bit wide. Maybe get the back one by accident. Oh, good heads up call there by Leanne, and no harm done. Not the intended result, but still a good result. And I got to think Northern Ontario is getting good at this intern come around. Peggy Taylor now with the opportunity. I'm sure Lisa has given her the info she needs to be very close on this come around. We've got 5 sheets of action in play tonight. Big men's game over on the far sheet, on sheet A, Quebec and Nova Scotia. Of course, I do recognize a lot of names out here, but the Quebec team gives me extra nightmares, as they were most of the team other than Jean-Michel Menard isn't here because he's not old enough, but they beat us in the 2006 Brier final. They were off to a great start. They're playing against Nova Scotia. We had a big win against Ontario today. We'll keep you updated across the sheets, but that's one that I've particularly got my eye on.
If we tick it, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll do that.
Another bit of an overcurl. You can see that the guard there's a little bit high, so it's hard to keep it buried with how much curl there is on this ice. This one's getting tight to that guard. Want to make sure you don't just feather tick it. A good call there by Leanne to say whoa, to make sure they take the guard off and not just feather tick it. So Tracy asking Peggy to throw the guard. Maybe, I mean, everybody's always said the perfect freeze is the hardest shot in curling, and hard to disagree with that. But you know what's also difficult is the perfect guard on ice that's curling 5 feet and is running 14 and a half or 15 seconds. You got to get both the weight and line right, because if you're heavy, it will generally over curl, and if you're light, it might under curl. So you really got to match that line with the weight.
Cross the line. Bring it in if you have to. Cross it. Cross it.
We're waiting on this one to curl.
Hard.
Looks pretty good.
Okay.
Making a liar out of me, making the perfect guard look very easy. Trust me, that is not an easy shot, but that's a great execution there. Jen Rutliff being asked for the straight back double. Good. Lots of weight, hit it close to the nose.
Yep.
Sounds close.
Hard, right up, yep. Whoa.
Very good effort. Not much result for a very good throw. Sometimes being close in curling is the most painful result you can have. If she had to hit half a rock there, they got to make a tough guard, but this guard's been much easier because the red one stayed there. But at least they can use that red one on the next one potentially.
Okay, guard it. Guard.
Only missed it by an inch, really.
So as I said, Tracy Larocque was the skip of the Northern Ontario ladies team who won the Canadian Club Curling Championships last year, and got to go to Vegas as Everest upped the ante. Everest CEO Mark Duffy, a massive friend of curling, decided that the prize wasn't big enough, and last minute said, hey, why don't we take the winning teams to Vegas for the opening weekend of the World Championships? And of course the team said, well, I think that sounds like a great idea, and put on a fantastic show like only Everest can. Good looking shot here from Tracy, a little bit heavy maybe, but wouldn't hurt to tuck a little bit. Don't want to open up the back one, however, and leave that hit and roll, which I think they've done. But
Just control.
got to be made.
Oh, there it does move. This side moved you know, late, so just be ready. Okay.
I think that's some good information from Leanne there.
I thought it was going to hit off.
Talking to Jen, saying, you know what, this side
Okay,
moves a
control weight.
lot. See what she
Try and
says
get
to
that
the
flop.
sweepers. Yeah, looking for the hit and roll.
Yeah, those other ones had some late finish, so just be ready.
Right. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to
Okay.
under curl would be my guess. Fresh path. They've
Oh,
thrown
what
the
happened to
intern.
his hack?
Uh-oh. Got hack trouble.
Oh, it's just all icy. It's like a really broke it.
So typically this path in the first end has not been thrown in practice. Fresh pebble usually curls more. But it sounds to me like Leanne is expecting that. Good conversation, but sounded like she threw it a little bit tight. The ladies are holding it though. This looks very close. Just over curled a little bit and rolled too far, but a great effort.
Get the flop.
Down a little? Okay.
We'll see what kind of weight Tracy chooses to throw here. Certainly wants to hit and roll back buried, but if nothing else, just wants to hit and stay.
In, out.
Okay, see if we can get that flop.
She wants to get that flop, which is the roll underneath. I guess even if she rolls out, that they're not likely to take on that run back for the blank or the score of one. They'll probably just draw the 8 foot for one. So she can get a little bit aggressive here.
Yes!
I think they'll get some curl here. I think they waited a little bit too long and lost that one. A good throw by Tracy, and just didn't quite anticipate that early break in the first end.
Or just a draw? I guess just a draw. Let's just draw. I think on the edge is good.
Oh, I don't think so.
See, it actually just got by the top one, made a big move because they weren't saying anything early. Didn't catch what Tracy said there, but
Okay, full 8.
so draw to the 8 foot for one
Even better.
for BC. They should know this path quite well. Both teams throw 2 draws to the button for hammer before the game starts. Thought I heard a 14, which would certainly be enough weight. I think earlier today we were hearing 14.5, which is the time from hog line to hog line. Higher the time, the faster the ice. Sweepers, you don't like to see them just jogging beside it, but looks like it's starting to curl. Needs to slow down a little bit. Tracy looks excited here, so not great news for BC. Just gonna slide too far, and that's a 1 steal for Northern Ontario to start this game, and a 1-0 lead heading to the second end. We'll be back shortly and cover the second end here for you.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship. We've got live action on Sheet C between BC and Northern Ontario. Northern Ontario with a bit of a surprise steal in the first end, but they'll take it in a 1-0 lead. We'll give you a bit of an update here. Next door, we've got Nova Scotia women who they're off to a hot start, and they're up 3-0 here on New Brunswick. Hot start in this game and a hot start to this week. I believe they are undefeated.
Okay, well,
Yukon Territory versus Manitoba. Manitoba looks like they stole one in the first end, and then 2 men's games, which are awfully loud over there. Two good matchups. Saskatchewan and Newfoundland just wrapping up. Looks like Saskatchewan started with a score of 3, and Quebec, Nova Scotia still playing here. Nova Scotia in a pretty big trouble there against the juggernauts from Quebec. 1 shot to come, and Quebec's lying 3 all around the 4 foot. So center guard to start our game from Northern Ontario again. Over curled a little bit.
Line's good. Lots of room still.
BC is going to play the
Line's getting
straight come
better.
around.
Yep. Hard for
Sounds
line,
like they
really hard
like
for
it,
line
but
now.
it's starting to
Oh, yeah,
move here.
hard. Okay. Okay.
So early, I think we can see that, you know, rocks are maybe curling a little bit more than the teams are expecting. So as a sweeper, if I'm out there, I'm thinking, let's just get a little bit more aggressive with the sweep and make sure the weight's there, because waiting on the line doesn't seem like something that we need to do. Great draw for one. You can hear the bells for the hometown Nova Scotia men's team. A great draw for one to the side of the button against three.
Yep. Okay, whoa.
I think Deanna got this one a little bit inside. Worried about tapping it into the rings, but I don't think she has quite that much steam. So we're going to see lots of rocks in play here, whether either Skip wants it or not. We got 3 guards, 3 rocks thrown, 3 guards, so going to be hard to clean all that up. Going to be a race to the top 4 foot. Whoever gets there first is going to control this end. Second chance for BC lead Kathy Chapman. They like the line early.
He got room.
As long as the weight's good, I
Still
think
5?
this will always get a little bit
They're
buried.
in, Jen. Yep.
Got to throw it pretty wide to stay wide open, as you can see. Look at that thing go, just going sideways.
Yep. Nice stretch,
As a
guys.
curler, that's pretty exciting. I got to be honest with you. That's what you want to see. Get the weight right, and you can make any shot that you can possibly see out there. It's all you can ask for as a player. So Northern Ontario second, Lisa Penner being asked to follow that one down. Anywhere short of this is going to be useful.
Got room. Where is it?
Can't be heavy here, is
Okay,
there?
whoa.
Not that you want to think
guys.
that way,
You
but
got room. You got room.
you can hear Tracy
Yep.
saying you got room again. I think that's probably something they want to stop saying
Hard.
until somebody misses
Yep, keep
wide. And
going.
again, this one's actually over curling,
Okay.
but a pretty good shot. See how BC decides to deal with that.
You like maybe this one? Peel it off.
So looking at peeling the guard, I don't see a ton of danger for them yet. But this is a preference.
No, just normal.
As a team, maybe they've decided when we have the hammer, we don't want the front to get too junked up, so we're going to keep it open. They are shot, rock, and shooting. They could just follow that one down. But decided to peel the center. Oh, somebody lost something. Some bubble gum or something fell out of the pocket.
Really hard.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Something fell.
Double peel. And that's one of curling's silly rules. If that, whatever it was that fell, if that had to happened to hit the rock, it's actually a burnt rock and it has to come off, which seems strange to me, but
So we're just going like back line, okay?
like golf, curling has some good rules and kind of some strange ones. Maybe we can, thank our Scottish friends for that. I'm not sure where all the rules came from, but so I would have thought Northern Ontario would have played the hit on the yellow one, but I think they called a freeze
like
bump
lots.
or even a guard, but this one looks like a rocket.
No, it looks like lots. Where is it? Okay, yep.
Tracy going for plan B, trying to sweep it by and maybe hit the back red. Oh, just feathered it. So they must have been playing the bump and just got a little bit wide and heavy, and still a little bit of a tricky situation for BC. See
You
how
like
they
just corner freezing?
plan to handle it. Okay, play the corner freeze now. I think there was an opportunity to do this before. If they make this really good, it could be good. A lot of times you're going to freeze here, and it's going to leave a nose hit for Northern Ontario to drag that yellow one straight back, but we'll see what happens here.
We won't be able to hold it.
They're not loving it. Obviously, they think it's quite heavy. Saying we won't be able to hold it on the wide one, which I totally agree with. So the line was pretty good, just 8 or 10 feet heavy there out of her hand. See how Tracy, if she's still
Okay,
going to
try
just
again.
bump freeze. So just playing the
Just
tap,
normal,
tap.
Pegs.
Oh, no.
Set up a double maybe for us here.
Changed their mind. So they're playing takeout weight this time. Peggy Taylor, it sounds like nickname Pegs. Lefty.
Yep. Yeah, D, hard.
A little tight there.
Hard.
Really need Deanna to hold this one for her, but this one's gone early.
Hard, hurry.
Unfortunate result there. Got it tight early. That's definitely not something that on this kind of ice, as much curl as we have here, you just can't be tight.
Or we can still do that if you like. Okay.
The situation hasn't changed much in the last two shots. Seems like Team BC has decided let's throw the same shot. Corner freeze on the top one. Jen Routliff here.
That's good. Lots of room right now.
If the weight is right, I think it will
Where is it?
curl.
Yep, 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 yep. Let's go. Yep. Yep. Yep, hard. Hard, hard, hard. Yep, hard.
Line
hard,
looks
straight,
very
hard,
good
hard,
if they
then
can
more,
get
then
this
more.
there.
Hard, 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 hard. Hard. Yep, yep, yep.
And that might be a
Nice, you guys.
better result than freezing because they certainly can't nose that and
You
drag
can do
it
the
back.
same thing.
So same call here, just forces them to switch turns at least. But they got to get pretty tight to that red one that was just thrown by BC. Don't want to pick your own out here when there's three red ones in the rings. If you ever hit this one on the broom side, could get pretty dicey. We'll see what Peggy has here.
Whoa, whoa. D.
Calling on Deanna again, opposite side, different
Okay, whoa.
reason to sweep. Uh-oh, this sounds like the, oh, made it perfect. Pretty nonchalant for a great shot. Lying two, even rolled Barry, didn't leave any run back double. Great throw and great shot. You can see just got by the red, even rolled low. If they just nose it, they're gonna leave a double. But no such luck for BC. Rolled buried, and here they go. They got it now. They got to try and play the same shot here. A little hit and roll.
Close. Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Sounds like they like it.
Yep.
Starting to curl now.
Whoa.
This is really curling. That's got to be close. Just a nose hit. Unfortunately, jammed on the back. Not super important, but could have been a kicker later to count if Northern Ontario left a double or made a mistake.
I know.
I think we
Okay,
can just
good
lose
shot.
it.
Thought it was gonna finish there a little harder too. And then I thought, oh, shoot, we could have gone the other way if I knew that was gonna be there.
So Tracy, I heard her say, let's just nose it. I think we can just nose it. I think she's
I
right.
don't think she can get the roll bit behind now though, because I think it's gonna hit that rock, don't you?
Don't really want to roll away from the broom in behind the other yellow, because then that short raise takeout would make a raised double. As long as she doesn't roll a little bit high side, you roll a couple inches towards the broom, there might leave a double on the top two yellows, but no real danger here for Northern Ontario just yet. Looking like they got a force set up at worst.
Whoa.
Tracy sounds like she's got this one a little bit wide, but it's coming up now. Ooh, almost jammed it at the back. That could have been disaster. Hangs on for a biter, lies two. Looks like
I think so, hey?
Okay. So just okay. That probably
looks like
makes that
BC's
difference, eh?
third shot at the
Okay.
top.
Oh, that's a little high too.
I like this call.
I think just so normal, yeah. Sure. Just on the nose, hey?
Yeah. Yep.
Nose hit. That will run that back right on the yellow. Stay right there. Lie shot rock. We'll force Tracy.
Normal weight.
Tracy and Northern Ontario to make a double with a couple of jam possibilities at the back. And even if they do make it, the rings are going to be wide open for BC to score their points. So not a great opportunity for a deuce, but certainly an opportunity. Need to hit this right on the nose. Really working this one, thinking it's over curling. Can they hold it? It's close. A little bit of an over curl. Got shot rock. A little tricky to take that one out. It's not just hit it anywhere, that's for sure. A couple of jams.
Over curl just a touch.
And I think Tracy's chosen to roll low side, which is
A little bit tight.
it's the most likely way to jam it and leave a shot for two. If she's to roll dead buried behind the center one, I think that red one goes back and dead jams and leaves BC that another short run back for two, but
Yeah, I was gonna say because won't be able to hit her and be shot. So yeah, got it.
chance to lie two though.
Stay close, yeah! Yeah!
Now.
Uh-oh, this one's really taken off. That almost looked like it picked. She might not even hit this. I think that might have picked about halfway. It didn't sound scared, didn't sound worried about it.
I know, but you have to, if it's on the nose,
Just to the
get
tap.
them to sleep.
And then it's just gone. You can hear Tracy. That looked to me like it picked, but
Yeah.
I know.
I'm way up in the rafters here, folks,
But
so I'm not really that reliable.
That way too, right?
Certainly a split here for 3 points.
Yeah. Right? So I don't care if it's close. We can get them
Might be
off
able
after
to,
the
but-
hog line to let it curl.
Yeah, or like throw back 4 weight. Yeah, but I think
I'd
there.
rather at least hit the rock, right?
So trying the split on the top one here and talking about back 4 weight. Here, the challenge here is the right weight.
There.
Oh, let's.
Yeah, T-line weight, back 4 even weight.
So T-line weight's not enough
yeah,
to make the
exactly.
shot. The fear here is the right weight is back line if you're going to make this shot for 3 points. But if it doesn't curl enough and you don't hit it, back line's too much, you don't even get 2 points. So I think what Leanne's making sure of here with T-line is that she gets the 2 points, but it's going to be very difficult to make the split if she is actually T-line weight.
Hard! Hard!
Definitely looks light. Straight tap for 1. 2 points, red. Yeah, her weight was actually quite good, just over curled. BC with 2 points back in the second end to take a 2-1 lead into the third, and we'll be back in a few moments to capture the action in the third end.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Everest Funeral Concierge Senior Canadian Curling Championships here in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Interesting start to the game, a bit of a back and forth end there in the second with BC capitalizing and taking a 2 points. Had a shot for 3, but probably be pretty happy with the 2 and the answer after the steal in the first end, so a 2-1 lead. Not a lot to update you on across the sheets here. We got, as I mentioned, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland on the men's side playing here, and Saskatchewan with a big 3-ender in the first. I can't see everything, looking like they've got Newfoundland forced, but don't ever count out Keith Ryan as he likes to play the big shot, and he's lining something up. Quebec, Nova Scotia. Looks like Quebec's got Nova Scotia in trouble here after a great draw for 1 in the first. Looks like Francois Roberge is drawing around to like 3 buried in the forefoot on his first, so a chance for multiple points there. We've got Yukon and Manitoba. Manitoba up 1-0, a blank in the second end. And Nova Scotia, New Brunswick also on the ladies' side. Nova Scotia forcing New Brunswick in the second, up 3-1 with the hammer and continuing to roll. On our sheet here, BC asking for the first one to be top 4 over curling.
Wait.
substantially over curling there, and you can hear the conversation there. It's important as a player on a team to be honest with each other, and you can hear Leanne there saying just tight. You know, Kathy didn't get out to the broom. Not trying to get angry at her, just trying to give her some honest feedback so that she knows what's going on there.
Okay, watch it.
And
Watch
Northern
it.
Ontario pretty predictably calling the corner guard here, trying to get some offense going.
Okay.
And well done by Deanna. Perfect corner guard. And Leanne coming into the rings. Not really, that first one from Kathy's not really a guardable stone. Behind the tee line, off to the side. So just thinking maybe we'll just throw one in the top 4 foot and see what Team Northern Ontario does.
Line's good. Yep. Let it work a bit. Five if we can. 5. Yep. Line's great.
Speed shot here. I wouldn't worry about the line.
Yep. Nice sweeping. Shot, Kath.
Not too bad. We'll see how Tracy decides to deal with this. A hit and roll or a straight draw. So Newfoundland men against Saskatchewan, they were forced to 1 point. So it looks like Randy Bryden leads Keith Ryan 3-1 after 2 ends, and Saskatchewan with the hammer with a 2-point lead.
Yeah.
Early control of that game.
Yeah, Lise. Yeah, Lise. Yep. Yep.
Chance for the roll
Okay,
here.
that's fine.
And a nose hit. Important not to roll out there. You want to stick your shooter, but at some point, Tracy's going to really want one of her players or herself to get one behind that corner guard. That's why you throw. You can see how much curl there is there, even hog line in on the replay. If you have to stay hard out of your hand here, I don't think you're going to be happy with your result.
Yep.
So this one's tight early,
Really hard.
but it looks close. I think maybe a little misread out of the hand there.
Sorry, it's been a spinner.
Spinner and a lot of weight. So with extra spin,
Okay.
it won't actually curl as much. And I think that was probably more weight than expected, but a lot to this game. For anybody watching that doesn't play a lot, there's a lot of little things that make a massive difference out on the ice, including how much you spin the rock. Some might think the more you spin it, the more it curls. It's actually the opposite. The less you spin it, the more it curls. But the less you spin it, the less predictable it is too. So it's a bit of a catch-22. So Tracy trying to use the
Okay,
corner
you got
guard here.
Lots of room here. Looks hotter.
Lots of
No,
room.
Looks hot. Looks hot.
Lots of room typically means on a draw that it's a little bit heavy. It'll run a lot straighter if you're heavy, and this one looks like it's out the back door. Missed opportunity there for Northern Ontario, but interested to see how BC deals with this. Do we peel the corner guard or just draw another one in there? So not a total loss of opportunity for Northern Ontario. As long as that corner guard is there, there is a chance for a 2-ender. This one is well out there.
Yep.
Must be heavy to stay on that line.
Whoa, whoa. No, it's.
So trading favors here, playing a little friendly game, a little social. I don't want to put you in too much pressure. No, you go ahead. And another free come around here for Northern Ontario, and a good opportunity to set up the deuce. They make this come around. It's more times than not, it's going to be 2 points on the board at the end of this end.
Where is it?
So we'll see what Lisa with the
Yeah.
second chance.
Okay, go. Go hard.
Line
Other
looks
side, D.
very good.
Yep, hard.
Just got to
Hard.
get this one to the rings. A little light, and it's going to touch the
Okay.
guard.
Okay.
Line was
Fine.
perfect, just 4 or 5 feet light. If it has that extra weight, it holds that line a little longer. But 2 yellow guards that can be used. Jen going to try and make the straight come around. It did roll back to the center, so a bit of an opportunity for BC here if they can get one buried. A lot of
Do we need backing?
shots off for the
Yeah, if
sweepers.
you need back, you got to go now.
I'm not sure the backing really helps you here.
Well,
Hard to
yep,
throw an
yep,
in-turn
yep,
and hit
yep,
that
yep,
back one.
Here, back here. Yep. Okay.
Now just wants to make sure it's not right beside it for a pocket, but I don't think Tracy's going to pay attention to those rocks anyway. Another free come around. A lot of opportunities here for Northern Ontario. Let's see if they can take advantage here. Peggy Taylor at the third stone. Out turn come around for the left-hander.
Here we go.
So sweepers thought it was light. Tracy thinks it's tight, which is usually not a good combo. I think this one's going to be all over the guard and well light. Try and line that up or curl it out of the way so you have that run back. Certainly enough guards here for a multiple score. Let's see who can win that race to the top 4-foot buried.
Line's good. Rim. Can you switch? Switch.
So another chance here for Jen Routliff. And my apologies. I would like to record this message and replay it at the push of a button. My apologies for all of the names that I butcher this week. I will do my best.
Yep, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Great sweep, you guys. Great sweep.
So not what they wanted, but you can see the first one of the last few shots that it's short so it's usable, and it's going to cause Northern Ontario trouble, and it's also going to block them from making the come around. So a good miss, as we say. Curling is it's kind of like golf. It's not a game of perfect. To steal Bob Rotella's line, it is a game of misses.
Yep.
And the better your misses can be, the better chance you have of winning the game. Got to get this by the front rock. Do not want to feather tick the top here. Oh, what a great sweep. And now there's a yellow rock that's kind of in a spot that BC's probably not super happy with.
Yeah, I gave you their, shoot, I cleared it already. No, it's okay. But I think we need to take,
Yeah, I would take some more ice for sure.
Okay. Even sitting a little short's okay, right?
Yeah, you can hear the conversation there, Leanne saying, even if we're a little short, if they drew beside that yellow, it's not the worst.
Okay, try and tuck one around.
I think you'd see Tracy play the tap, but let's see if there's any.
No, even, short, like on the shorter side, 12 foot, 8 foot's okay. But if it's real good, we'll take it in.
So I was hoping for a little conversation there about the speed. I mean, we've missed a lot of draws this end. Is there something changing, or is it just we're not throwing what we wanted? Or I was, just a little reassurance for Leanne there, I think would have been nice. But maybe she has a really good idea, and she's going to make this shot perfect. Line looks really good. Yeah, line's fantastic. If the ladies can sweep this in there, this could be perfect. I guess that's why you don't talk to your skip, because she's got it under control. That's really perfect. Couldn't really walk it down much better, and I'm not even sure, Tracy, can she see enough of that yellow one to make the run back? I think just.
I can just at least move it out of the way, though.
Might have to play it quiet. You can see that one just getting by. As much as at the hog line, they thought they had plenty of room.
What am I going to get unless I draw to here?
With the right weight, the rock just finishes, almost goes sideways at the end. So Tracy figuring I don't have enough of that yellow one biting the top 12 foot to play that run back. Gonna play the freeze here. Does two things. Make a good freeze. It's gonna force BC to throw a guard. The other thing it does is make even just an average freeze, and you're gonna outcount those other two red counters. Not something you're super worried about, but still makes your last one a little easier if it's not against 3 or 4.
There's lots of people watching my ass right now.
I'm not sure who said that, but that's an interesting comment.
Yep. D.
They don't
D.
love it early.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa.
Definitely doesn't need swept for line here.
Yeah, go, get ready, Jen.
Heavy
Hard, Jen,
really
hard.
want to hold on for second shot.
Right back, right out, right out, right out, right out. Go, 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 go. Hard, 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 hard.
Doesn't quite hold on for
We
second
have a
shot.
technical timeout. Can you?
Got some microphone troubles. Leanne's mic pack fell off, which does happen time to time.
You really want to do this back there? Okay. Well, this is embarrassing.
I'm not sure if that's a stranger that that Leanne has asked to help her out with her mic. That's a good move, though. I'll have to remember that one. And we're back.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
Beast.
so let's take a little more ice this time. I mean, sure, we were there. I don't mind being out because I'm going to be a little lighter, right? Yeah. So here, and then if it tucks, we can go in a bit. Okay.
So there you heard it. Leanne explained it perfectly. So they're going to play. They'd love to, if they knew for sure they were going to make it, they'd just play the same shot and draw another one right on top.
Just try and block that path a bit. If the line is, we're sitting 2 right now. Well, not necessarily. It depends on the line, right? So we'll just kind of, we took a little more ice. Don't really want it kneaded in, but if the line's great, we'll take it. Okay.
There you go. Leanne's explained it perfectly again. I think there's. I think her call is good here. I mean, if you throw a guard here, you're going to steal one. Probably even to the point where Tracy's just going to say, look, I'm going to hit the open one and give you one. But she just made the come around. And if she were ever to make it again, she's probably going to steal 2. And she's taken the weight off, and it's curled early. And don't line this up. Don't line this up.
Don't line it up.
Yeah, it's lined up, I
Just a
think.
hair more ice, I think, though.
Tracy not even looking at it. That's close to lined up, but it's also close to lined up to jam on the back.
It looked like it was almost going to line up the run back for.
You're right, it almost did.
Ice.
Yeah. Okay, have to bite the button.
Yeah, with that little bit less weight, I guess, hey?
So you can hear Leanne saying a little less weight, curled earlier,
Yeah.
different path, just
Well, I
over
think
curled
it's-
by quite a bit. Sometimes the more ice you take, the more it curls in arena, especially if you're light.
We weren't going to line that up for the run back.
Tough shot here for Tracy. I mean, she's happy if she cuts him down. She could draw the side of the button here for one. We say if you can't draw, you can't skip. But this is an especially difficult one. And this one looks to be moving, but curling.
Yeah, D. Okay, watch it, watch it.
This one's going to get to the one top button, I believe. A little chap and lie. Good effort there and held her to 1. I'd call that a win for Team Northern Ontario and Tracy Larocque. That's a good throw and a good shot, but that's a 1 steal for BC to take a 2-point lead heading into the 4th end. We'll be back in a few moments.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back, curling fans. We are live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia at the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships, covering the British Columbia and Northern Ontario ladies game here, playing the 4th end in an 8-end match. It's a big steal of 1 for BC and the 3rd end to take a 2-point lead. So I think you'll see BC probably throw their first one in the rings here, but let's check out what's going on in the other games. We've got big score from Yukon on in the ladies game against Manitoba, taking a 3 in the 3rd end to go up 3-1. I haven't seen either of those teams play. I just got to town today, but anytime I see the Manitoba Bison, I expect good things from experience, you know, Manitoba being a juggernaut curling province. But Yukon with a 2-point lead there. We've got New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Maritime battle on the ladies' side, and we've got Nova Scotia up 3-2, but New Brunswick did steal a point in the third end to draw within 1. And on the men's side, we got Quebec stealing, or sorry, that's a mistake. Nova Scotia out of nowhere, and I didn't see how, but Quebec looked to be scoring 3 or 4, but those wily Nova Scotians, to take 3 or 4, and Nova Scotia managed to steal a point to go up 2-0 playing the third. And Saskatchewan up 3-1 and has Newfoundland in all sorts of trouble here. Looks like it's going to be a force at best there, but who knows? Back on our feature sheet here. First rock from BC was a little bit short. Northern Ontario calls the corner guard. I like the call. And we got some action this end. So BC lead, Kathy Chapman. I'm reading up on the BC ladies team, as you would expect. Anybody that lives in BC loves what sport, right? Obviously curling if they're here. But golf is a big part of a lot of these ladies' lives. And they've got a longer golf season than most, that's for sure, out in BC. And every February, March, April, we're certainly envious. And then, you know, October, November as well. As a golf fan, I would love to play, you know, even some, Vancouver, I think, plays pretty much 12 months a year. But good looking come around here for Team BC. Just a little bit light, but again, light being better than heavy almost every time. When it's back ring, it's not really very usable. That one can only be made better, but Tracy's gonna ask Deanna here to play the hit and roll, control weight. Could just go around the corner guard.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with this call.
Yep.
But cannot hit the guard is what I'm concerned about on swingy ice, or else that guard goes back.
Hard. Okay.
I think I jinxed them. No, that guard's gonna have to go back. 5 rock, free guard zone. It's kind of why I like to come around. Make sure you get something.
Whatever, I think because I had more, I was able to see more of that rock.
Is that, you have to consult with them, or we just, I think that's...
I was able to see more of your red rock in the house, but wherever you want to put it. I think that's fine.
Sometimes you can see the ring in the ice from where that rock was. But between the two teams, they've agreed that's basically where it was. So BC with a chance to play another come around. BC second, Tracy Strecker, intern come around.
Well, if you can.
Ladies should have a pretty good idea how to make this. They just saw it on Kathy's second one. Line looks good.
Okay, Jen. Yep.
Line looks very good.
Yep. Hard.
Quality curling shot there.
Shot, Trace.
Northern Ontario in a little bit of trouble. See how Tracy decides to deal with this.
Even if you hit that over, it's fine, right?
So asking Lisa for the intern freeze here. Trying to generate a multiple point score here. Got to get one in there that BC cannot take out. If she makes this, that'll certainly be the case. She won't be able to hit it.
Yep.
This one looks tight and light.
Yep. Yeah, hard. Yep, keep going.
Still gotta go, ladies.
Okay, whoa.
Okay, it's in a usable spot.
Normal.
BC's gonna, they could guard, but it is second shot by the looks. That's close. Choosing to deal with this yellow one by hitting and rolling into the, back into the middle.
Kathy. Hard, Kathy. You got it.
I think she's gonna be okay here. The red one's just gonna catch it.
Yeah. What's that? That's okay.
Looks to be the double takeout call. You might even be able to roll behind the corner guard if you really made a great shot here. Lisa Penner being asked to hit the top one.
Yep.
Important to stick around, make BC deal with it.
Yeah.
It's close.
Go. 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 Go.
Fantastic double takeout. Even rolled a little bit under the center guard. Great shot. Opens up both guards, really, because BC, you know, is going to take care of that. They're going to have to hit that. You can see, hit it a little bit low, a little bit of a over curl there to roll under the guard, but making a great double takeout. So BC third here. Jen Routliff going to chase shot rock and probably ideally stay close to center, but doesn't want to hit the guard. Curling this one to or sweeping this one to curl.
Okay.
That's got a curl. Ooh, an
Just lift it out.
unforced error. You heard it firsthand.
Well, you can straight
From Skip
draw
Leanne
there, you can
Andrews.
split them.
Flipped it outside. So some options here. You can hear Tracy talking through it.
Back.
Kind of, the split's a great call. Probably not going to leave either one buried. I'm a bit of a fan of the draw around the corner guard and see what they do, but nothing wrong with this. Lying two is the key here.
Okay, close, stay close. Yep. 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 Yeah, hard, D. Yep, real hard. Real hard, real hard.
Might just be playing this straight. Oh, wrecked on the
Yep,
guard
go deep,
and
go deep, go deep. Yep, keep going, keep going. Okay, good, good, that's fine. Okay.
at the end of the day, they're lying two, not how they drew it up, but the weight was good. Good things happen when you get the weight right in curling. Did leave a double here.
You like normal here? Okay.
Not going to take it on. Leanne's decided to play the hit on shot rock and maybe roll back to the center. Definitely a chance for Jen to hit and roll buried.
Close. Yeah. Yeah. Hard. Hard. Really hard. Really hard. Yep. Yep.
And this
Ready
one's
for the
really
roll.
moving.
Oh, no, we got. Okay. Well, what you can. Nice shot.
So Northern Ontario are going to have to deal with this, but certainly a great chance for a deuce here. We'll try and hit and roll back behind the corner. A nose hit here is certainly not great. Be a fairly makeable double. But sometimes, as curlers, we're worried so much about leaving the wrong shot that we don't even hit and stay.
Yeah.
So important to stay here.
Yeah.
Sounds like she took that out of play
Yeah.
early. I think Peggy got this one a little inside by
okay,
the
whoa,
sound
whoa,
of
whoa,
Tracy's
whoa, whoa.
voice.
Whoa.
Maybe roll a little underneath.
Okay.
Okay. Lying two, but a very makeable double down the center line. Nose hit.
We'll finish. Yeah, I think just knows. Yeah. Just got to anticipate it just a bit.
You got to love the Northern Ontario jerseys, though, right? If you've ever been to a Briar or Scotties and you've heard that moose call, and then you see the Northern Ontario jerseys with the moose head on the jerseys. Kudos to Dynasty and you know, Colin Hodgson, I know, is involved in that, and they've got you know, Kevin Hurry Designs. Those are pretty cool jerseys. You see a lot of those in the stands at Scotties in the Briar. I know those are for sale for curling fans who wanna wear their home province colors, or maybe a province you like better than your home province. But I know those are for sale at Dynasty, and I'm not a paid ambassador. That's not a plug, but they're doing a great job making curling jerseys look good, and they're great to play in too. This one's a floater, though. I think she's missed this double high. Unforced error, big break for Northern Ontario there. And Tracy now with another chance to lie two and set up the deuce. So it's similar situation to earlier where they played the split. I think this split actually has a better chance of ending up with at least one of them buried. But I still like to come around the corner guard too. BC had no appetite to take on the double last time they had a chance when they spread them out. So as Tracy says, just draw around the corner. Sometimes in arenas, we actually see it, the speed a little bit faster to the corners, almost like it's going downhill to the corners, but that's usually later in the week when it straightens out inside out, and I don't see that happening yet this week. Sweeper's on it a little bit early here, curling early, 2 signs that it's probably a little bit light.
Yep.
Don't want this anywhere near that corner guard. No need to be anywhere close to that corner guard.
Hard. Come on, you got it. Go, go, go. Go hard. Okay, roll it off deep. Okay.
Oh, disaster, unfortunately. Just a little bit light there from Tracy. If she's 4 or 5 feet heavier, the weight she wanted to throw, then there's no issue there. Great sweep from the front end, but just not quite enough to lie to. So a big break for BC and a chance to hit and roll and even force and potentially set up a steal. But
Okay, same weight. Little roll behind ours would be good.
normal weight, hit and roll behind the corner, hit and roll behind the center. Really, hit and roll anywhere, buried, and you probably got the force.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Shifted a bit.
Sounded like Leanne put this one outside. She didn't love it. Doesn't look that bad, though. Right on the nose, so an opportunity here for Tracy to blank the 4th end and retain last rock advantage.
I felt it on my fingers.
But you know, kind of mission accomplished for BC. They were in trouble. Looked like a deuce most of the end, and certainly not going to be a 2-point score here.
Oh, just in the end, just kind of my hand, the fingers a little bit. Yeah, I thought we were actually going to get a bit of the roll there because it was out there for a bit.
You can hear Leanne. She just didn't love the way she threw that one, but if that's her miss, she's going to do well this week. When you're unhappy with the throw, it can get a lot worse than that. Tracy throwing lots of weight here, trying to make the blank. You're going to have to sweep this one the whole way, but
D. All the way out, D, all the way out. Yellow
looking pretty good. Great shot from Tracy. Blank end. We're going to go to the 4th end break. 3-1 BC.
It's a beautiful blend of strategy, skill, and creativity. Curling. But it's our people that make us great. We're a mosaic of countless experiences. We communicate and collaborate. We value new ideas and different perspectives.
I like it.
We learn from our past and from our future. We may even disagree sometimes, but it's in our differences that we can see our strengths. The beauty of our sport is reflected in our people and our values. Regardless of your ethnicity or gender, your abilities, your stage in life, your beliefs, or who you love. The rocks and the ice don't discriminate. And as curlers, we won't either. We will be the change that we want to see in the world. Curling is a place for everyone.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
It's time to experience the wonder and excitement of Yarmouth and Acadian shores. Stay at one of the many charming accommodations, adventure along the ocean coast, or just be cozy by the fire and enjoy some of the darkest and clearest skies in North America. This December, be a part of the action with the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship. You'll find all of this and so much more with your special getaway in Yarmouth and Acadian shores.
Welcome back to the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships, live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. I'm Brent Lang, your host tonight, and we've had an interesting four ends. You know, the first half of the game, BC is probably happier right now than Northern Ontario with a 3-1 lead at the break. Coming out in the fifth end, though, we'll have Tracy the Rock and her team from Northern Ontario with the hammer and looking to score multiple points. Do a quick around the rings here. Most games are at the halfway point. We've got Nova Scotia, New Brunswick on the ladies' side, with Nova Scotia cracking a big 3-ender in the fourth end to go to the break with a 4-point lead, up 6-2 on New Brunswick, the Battle of the Maritimes. We've got Manitoba answered the big 3 from Yukon with a deuce of their own in the fourth end. So we've got Manitoba, Yukon tied at 3. Yukon with the hammer in the fifth end, start the second half. And on the men's side, the men's game's much slower by the looks of it. Both of them still in the fourth end here. We've got Saskatchewan breaking it open in the third end with another 3 to go up 6-1 on Newfoundland, and have Newfoundland and Keith Ryan in all sorts of trouble here again in the fourth end. And Quebec, I did see in the third end, Francois Roberge had a very difficult shot for 2, 3, maybe even 4 points in the third, but just feather ticked on a guard and forced to 1. So Nova Scotia up 2-1 with the hammer in the fourth end with lots of pressure on Quebec. So that was marked as one of the marquee matchups tonight. Two of the favorites certainly to win the men's division. The men's side, both teams will be off. I'm going to say it here, and you can blame me if I'm wrong. Sorry if I curse you both, but you're both going to be in the championship pool, and both with a chance to win the event. So big game there. But we're back in action here on Center Sheet. Sheet C, our streaming sheet for every draw here in Yarmouth, and got ourselves a close game. Northern Ontario maybe not at their best just yet, but got to be at least a silver lining that they're only down 2 points and have the hammer. So still lots of game left here, and Tracy the Rock and her team looking to get a little bit momentum, because I think it's been mostly BC's way for the last half hour or so. So we got BC lead Kathy Chapman here, being asked by Leanne Andrews, her skip, to probably throw this one right in the rings, top 4 foot. And then you're going to see Northern Ontario throw a corner guard, and we'll go from there.
That's okay. Well, I think we're good, yeah. Shot, Kath.
Good shot from Kathy Chapman. She's continually over curling on that out turn. Most of these players won't be used to playing on arena ice, and you might be thinking, what's the difference? Well, there's a massive difference. Obviously, there's a lot more curl.
Lots of room.
Most players at a curling club don't put much rotation on the rock. If you do that out here, you're going to look silly.
Lots of room.
You're not going to get the speed right, and it's going to over curl every single time. That's a big difference. The way the rock curls down the ice, most of the curl in an arena is kind of doesn't happen for the first half of the sheet. Oh, don't slide in the rings. Got an error there from Deanna Hicklin. Obviously wanted to throw the guard, but slid into the rings, thankfully. For the 5 rock rule, she'll get another chance. But that's a big difference on the arena ice, is where it curls. In a curling club, it kind of just gradually curls all the way down the ice.
Yeah.
In an arena setting, on arena ice, it runs straight for a long time when it's thrown well. and then it just finishes.
Whoa, maybe
Does
thinner.
all that curling in the last third or 2/3 of the sheet. Oh, back to back, trading mistakes there. An over curl from BC lead Kathy Chapman and a jam. So a little bit of a change of plan from Tracy, and I like this call. Oh, I don't like this call. I changed my mind. Playing the open hit, the odds of holding a deuce in the rings with no guards all end is pretty low.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I really like the idea of throwing a guard on that yellow one.
Lisa.
I think we've already lost the deuce
Hard,
here.
Lisa.
That's unfortunate, but as a lead, you know, we don't throw a lot of takeouts at that position, and I think I like her chances of throwing a guard, even if it didn't guard the yellow one. It's still going to be, if Northern Ontario is going to score multiple points, I'm thinking they're going to need some kind of guard. So unforced misses there. Not a fantastic start to the fifth end, but we shall see what happens. Curling's not a predictable sport, as we find out all the time. There's lots of momentum switches back and forth. But certainly a comfortable end for the team with the lead, and in this case, that happens to be British Columbia.
Hard, yep, right up. No roll.
Nowhere for Northern Ontario to hide. So we'll see if Tracy tries to hit her way out of this, or if she's going to play some freezes. She's choosing to hit her way out, which tells me, you know what? I don't think this is going our way. Let's see if we can get out of here with a blank end and reset in the sixth end. Because as much as I said it was hard to hold a deuce the whole end, it's going to be difficult for BC to hold two in the rings the whole end and force Tracy. She should probably end up with some sort of blank attempt. But another hit and roll out, and I think you might see BC guard that one right on the button. But I think if I'm Northern Ontario, she might, she's going to call it right in the rings. I was going to say if she throws the guard here, and Northern Ontario might not like it, but I think it's the best thing that could happen for Northern Ontario, because then they can play a come around freeze and get some action going. But it looks like BC's not having any of that. They're not taking the bait. And this one is looks quite heavy. Certainly not going to be a guard.
Whoa.
Going to leave a double opportunity for Northern Ontario. We'll see if that's what Tracy sticks with. This one might not even stay in the rings. This one slid out the back door. And they're going to put some pressure on the commentator and not give me much to talk about strategy-wise or curling-wise. So I'm going to look around the rink and see what else we can talk about.
Mind you, that was 13.
Because this should be an open end. Unless there's a wide open flash. Even you hit and roll out, it just means you're going to peel on the next one.
Yep.
So they're making me work for my bacon now. Nothing to talk about here. Looking like a blank end, or at least a blank attempt. A lot of action in that Quebec-Nova Scotia men's game. Rocks everywhere, every end. Hard to see because there's so many rocks in the forefoot, but it looks like Quebec has Nova Scotia in a bit of trouble, but a lot of Nova Scotia kickers lying around. So one shot away from switching the flip, or flipping the switch there, not switching the flip. Another open hit on our sheet here. Contact is key. First rule of a takeout is you got to take the rock out. I know that seems simple, but that's something. That's probably the only thing Wayne Madaw ever taught me. But obviously I'm joking. But that was one of his lines: is the key to a takeout, number one, is to take the rock out. And sometimes we're so focused on the roll or something else that we forget that key rule of a takeout. But so far so good on sheet C with BC and Northern Ontario, still looking like a blank.
Yep.
Randy and I were talking earlier, this certainly puts a lot of pressure on the skip. You play a whole end to blank the end, and it comes down to that last shot, and you certainly don't want to flash it. You don't want to go so aggressive for the blank that you don't hit it, but you don't want to hit and stay either. you're okay getting forced to a point in this game, but it really sucks to get forced to a point when you didn't even try and get more than one.
Yeah.
When you didn't take a chance. So there's going to be a lot of pressure here on Tracy, and I fully expect her to come through. But she's going to have to make it.
Tracy. Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going. You got it, you got it, you got it. Nice throw.
As I mentioned, this event is taking place at the arena here and at the Yarmouth Curling Club. Got to see the Yarmouth Curling Club this afternoon for the first time. Randy and I and Stu Brown, the voice of curling in Canada, headed over to the Lobster Boil and got some good old-fashioned East Coast hospitality and checked out the curling club, and then had to go home and basically burn the shirt. I just threw the shirt I was wearing in the garbage because I don't know what I'm doing with a lobster, so I didn't smell the best. Washed my hands 25 times, and they still smell like lobster. So, but we're here, new clothes, and lots of action on the ice tonight. And of course, in true Everest Funeral Concierge tradition, there is a full-on lounge hospitality suite after. They've got the whole hotel bar rented out here, just like they did at West Edmonton Mall for the club championships. Focused on bringing back all those things that we've kind of lost in our game, for better or for worse. At the Scotties and Briar, the social aspect, especially between the players. Very similarly, and I used this earlier, but I'm going to use it again, very similarly to playing an entire end to blank the end right from the start. And if it doesn't go well, you're super disappointed, kind of like coming to a national championship and not winning and being disappointed, and also not having any fun off the ice. There's only one thing worse than losing, and that's losing and having no fun. If you have no fun at an Everest event, though, that's on you. There's every opportunity to enjoy the social side, the camaraderie of the game, the traditions of the game. They do it up right, and they got the right host, as I mentioned earlier, in Randy Furby. Nobody enjoys the social part of the game any more than Randy does, and he's the host and does a fantastic job making all the players feel welcome and setting up a good time. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Expect 2 more hit and stays, and then it'll be up to Tracy Larocque from Northern Ontario to make the blank, and we'll go to 6, and Northern Ontario is going to have to put the foot down on the gas pedal here. They're running out of ends. I know they're only down 2.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're only 8 end games, and they need to make a move here soon. Out turn, hit and stay. Looks like control weight from Tracy Larocque.
One more weight.
Nothing happening yet. Sounds like she's flashed it. Nobody said a word, or maybe that means it's perfect. No. A little high. Practice for the blank.
Yeah. It's be the same weight out here, eh? Yeah.
So BC and Leanne Andrews are going to try and figure out where's the best place to put this that gives them the best chance, or challenges Tracy Larocque to the hardest blank, and she's decided the middle, the longest roll.
This side's the same, hey?
To roll out of the rings. Also gives her a chance to look at this side. As you can hear, she's not super sure, but she's pretty sure she can hit the rings. Quite often, I think you see more nose attempts on blanks out in the wings, personally in my experience, than you do down the center. But we will see. So Quebec with another steal to tie it up 2-2 at the break with the hometown favorites, Nova Scotia. Out of that mess in the forefoot, they stole a point, so looking like a great game over there.
No.
So nice draw there from Leanne. She's hit the back forefoot. As she said, flip the house upside down, and that's perfect. She's wanted it top 4, but that's not a big deal. I guess the rollout is like a rock shorter now than it would have been.
Same thing.
So here's Tracy there, same thing. That's the good news about hitting the first one high and rolling out. just got to do that same thing again.
So she blanks this. Still like going top four. Same for gameplay. Yep, that changes.
You can hear Leanne and Jen there, the back end from BC. Oh,
Yep.
Tracy did not like that slide. See if she fixed it. I'm not sure she did. I think this is on the nose. Unforced error. That's too bad. Played the whole end. And it happens. We saw it earlier in the game, and that's part of the reason why I don't love playing the whole end for a blank. You know, a lot of great curlers out here, but it's not like you've got, you know, Kevin Cooey throwing that blank end. No disrespect to Tracy, a good player in her own right, but it's a risk. Off to the 6th end we go.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
And we're back playing the 6th end here, and an unforced error from Tracy the Rock and Team Northern Ontario, forced to a point there in the 5th end. So trailing by 1 without the hammer and 6, you're going to see all-out offense here, and probably at least 1, probably 2 center guards from Northern Ontario, and BC is going to see what they can do to at least score 1 and keep control of the game here. You could see the curling calendar ad there, a great initiative in our sport for a long time now to raise funds for a great cause. And I don't know, they'd never ask me, so I must be just like their 13th choice in the 12-month calendar. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. BC lead, Kathy Chapman being asked to play the straight come around. Key here is full forefoot. Line doesn't really matter here. Just don't want to guard and don't want to be behind the tee line, so just want to be top 4, even if it's wide open. Looks like a good shot here.
Oh, that's good. Really good. Nice shot, Cass.
It's a great shot.
Good judge, you guys.
So Northern Ontario not going to throw that second guard. And play the freeze. Not right or wrong. Force here is not a great situation, but still up for grabs. Definitely don't want to give up a 2 or more here. It's really difficult at that point.
Room!
This one looks a little bit heavy. I think the line was good. It's just the weight that's the problem. BC still can't peel that guard. Gonna play the come around. I like it. Somebody's gonna get one buried there. And BC and Leanne Andrews have decided, why not us? Let's beat them in there. Kathy made a great come around on her first one. Why not do it again?
Line's a bit tight. Yep.
Hopefully Gary's watching at home. Coach Gary Sigurdsson. Always good to get some feedback after a game for somebody who's kind of more objectively watching the game. When you're out there in the heat of the action, sometimes you miss things that a good coach can be a part of. Unforced error here. Gary's not going to like this one. If you are watching, Gary, I know you don't like that one. There was one place you really didn't want that rock, and it's unfortunately literally right there. A little bit of a sweeping error. Obviously, you know, Kathy's a little bit heavy, but that's the only spot you didn't want that rock to be. Opportunity now for Northern Ontario with the center guard and one back button. If they can freeze one right on the button here, good chance to steal this end.
You got lots of room.
There's also a double on those reds at the back, so even if this is just top 8 foot buried, pretty good opportunity. Don't want to be heavy here. Really don't want to bump that off the back button.
Okay, whoa.
Not bad. Over curled a bit. But a difficult one for BC to remove right now for sure. Looks to be dead buried.
We got lots of room.
Gonna stick with the offense here.
Back line.
Sometimes best defense is a good offense.
Back line, wait. Yeah. If we move that, that's fine, but back line.
Yeah, interesting. I like the call. I don't love the comment if we move that guard. If you get close to that guard with back line, you're never hitting that yellow one. So it's not an either-or situation. I know in a curling club it might be. But out here, if you're just by that guard with back line, you're not going to hit the yellow. You're going to curl into the red. So it's not really an option to hit that guard.
Yep. Jen.
Weight looks really good.
Yep, yep.
Line looks pretty good. Needs to curl.
Hard. Yeah, really
Pretty good looking shot here. Maybe even better than back line.
Yeah, good shot.
Back line, you're going to see Tracy come down and do the same thing, but with that one, they're 2 shots away from moving that red one out of shot stone. Maybe a little bit accidentally, a fantastic shot. Interesting strategy this end from BC and from Leanne Andrews. They've been fairly conservative, even being shot rock buried early in the game. They peeled the center guards, and now up one with playing 6.
Where is it?
They're not hitting anything.
Okay.
I like it, but certainly different than what they were doing earlier in the game.
Yeah, hard.
And for Northern Ontario, it doesn't look great, but
Yeah, hard.
at the same time, leaving rocks around gives them a chance.
Keep going, D. Keep going, D. Okay.
So will we see some hitting now? Or are they thinking, we're so good, I'm going to keep drawing, like we're looking so good? I think any peeling of the guard now is kind of helping Northern Ontario.
You like that one? Let's get this one.
Interesting situation.
Yeah? Okay.
So they're going to play the peel. You're going to see Northern Ontario play the same shot and try and bump.
Jen! Hard!
Trying to sweep this one to curl, but I think they're okay here.
Okay, nice shot. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
They were kind of separated too far to try the double peel.
So Tracy's going to try and get one frozen on the outturn side, knowing that on the in-turn side, that red one isn't going anywhere. But if she can get one frozen on the high side on the out-turn side, then anything coming into that yellow rock that they're throwing right now would move that one off the button. A good call here. Difficult shot, though. See if Peggy's up to the challenge. This looks wide, which isn't usually a problem unless it's heavy, and this one is quite heavy.
That's through.
Unfortunately, they've taken a bit of a pass here. Hoping for the check raise in poker terms, but I think this is going to get quite expensive now. Same kind of freeze bump would be death for Northern Ontario. She sees it. Oh,
Back line to, I think, hack.
okay, hack weight might be too much weight. It might, if you ever roll off with hack, you're going to open up an opportunity for Northern Ontario. I think the key here is to get your shooter right on the nose of your red one top button, even if you don't move that yellow one. If you throw hack weight and roll off, you're going to leave a pocket and you're going to allow Northern Ontario to bump them behind the button, behind the center guard. But weight's irrelevant if you hit it perfect.
Keep going.
No, she's going to roll off, and this is not great. As much as they're lying 4 and that feels nice, that's not a great result. Depending on what Northern Ontario does. You can see here, if that's a little bit lighter, that gets right to the nose and stays right there.
I think I'd rather you sit here rather than hit anything.
I think don't think that's a bad shot.
Or here.
Sure would be great to kind of nose bump the one on the left and spread those reds to the back of the, you know,
And
just
push
behind
this
the
back
tee
a
line.
tad,
That would
okay?
be good too. I think it's getting late enough in the end that, you know, a third, second shot here. Peggy's already thrown one. You need to move at least one of those behind the tee line.
You're just playing back 4.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. It's the right weight. See if Peggy can make the adjustment here and make a little bump back button, and set up her skipper for potential steal. Unfortunately, the alternative to a steal when you leave 4 of your opponent's shot rocks in the forefoot is it might be a hurry hard time in the bar.
Okay, you got room.
I think she's
D,
overthrown
D.
it again.
Yep, hard.
This one's curling though.
Yep.
Here it comes.
Yep, lead D.
Line's getting really good.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Not bad. You can see there's no way for them to remove that yellow rock. It's third shot, but there's a double on the reds. First and second shot. And that yellow one's going to take 2 shots to get rid of. So the yellow's got a shot on both sides. So I heard somebody maybe say
ripping the guard?
guard. I think ripping the guard is better than throwing a guard.
Well, she's got a pretty easy tap here, and she's got the double on this side.
There it
Can't
is.
guard both.
No commentary needed.
Well, yeah, do you like ripping the guard?
I do, Leanne. I think you better rip the guard.
Yeah, but she's got 2 shots right now, though, right?
You can't guard both.
Sure. Time.
Coach, can they call a friend? Can Gary phone in here?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could also come right down to in here. But this is... Well, she's got that then. She's got 2 shots right now, right? She's got that, she's got this. I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe do we take the guard?
I didn't want to hit anything.
Well, okay, so we do that. She makes the double here, and then what? Then we've got... and then we might have a shot at...
I think Leanne's on the right track here.
Yeah, I like either guarding or taking that guard off.
I don't know what you guard. Because you guard one, she's going to make
then
play
she
the
sits
other.
there,
I think
and then, you know, then we can maybe do it. Okay, let's do this then. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm happy here if I'm Northern Ontario.
I did the same thing, but I think that one moved a little bit, yeah.
I think the only other shot I see, and it's a very
Forgot that was
difficult
there.
shot, is an in-turn with back 4-foot weight, get close to the guard and bump that yellow one and release one of those back red ones. If you could ever get to like the center line, whether it was in-turn or out-turn, and hit 3/4 on the center line side of that yellow one with back 8 weight and move the back red one, leave yours in the pocket, you can start loosening up your glove, I think, for the handshakes, but just throwing one in front of this doesn't take it away, really, and leaves that double for Northern Ontario to lie shot rock buried.
No, just let it die.
And if this over curls, which it sure looks like it is, you've almost thrown another center guard, which is exactly what's happening.
Okay, yep.
At least take away the double, she's saying, which they've done potentially. I think they took away the double accidentally, which for me was actually the more dangerous shot.
I know. You know what? We almost could have come the other way at it.
Can she hit that out then?
Sorry.
So what's Tracy seeing
Yeah,
here?
you got right out to
Right,
the
but
bird.
does that,
And weight
onto
was
there,
good.
right?
She's playing a bump, just bump it into the button area, stay kind of right there. She probably won't get shot rock here.
Yeah, we should have maybe talked.
Okay, just tapping that up like 3-4 inches.
Okay, yeah, a good call. Get second shot,
Throw your leg back
hopefully.
more.
Gotta get second shot. Looks to me, I guess, if you get second shot, you're almost shot rock, but don't want to roll off here. Don't want to try and so hard to get shot that you hit a quarter rock and roll off and mess up that back pocket.
Bumped off the guard, maybe.
Let's see what Tracy's got here for us. Key shot of the game to this point for sure. They're sweeping it like it's light, and it looks
Hard.
quite light.
Hard! Hard, come on!
The line was,
Come on, hard!
line's
Yes, hard.
fantastic.
Keep going! Keep going, keep going, keep going!
Get that out of the way almost now.
Okay, good sweeping.
So it just came up a little bit light there, and really kind of didn't quite block off that side. Made it a lot harder. She can probably see enough of it. Yeah.
She can see.
Leanne's really doing my job for me here. I'm going to have to buy her a drink after the game.
Yeah, maybe I'll just give it a little pop. Yeah. Keep it out here. Okay.
So she's saying
So
she
maybe
needs to
we'll take
guard
like
that.
there, and I'll just give it a little pop of a rotation. And
So, and I don't know how much Tracy has played in arena ice, but that's exactly what she needs to do here. When
Okay,
you
we're
go
gonna
wider,
just,
let's hear it from her.
put a little spin on this one. Well, just 3 is fine, but just yeah, I'm gonna throw it a little bit more rotation, like a little pop.
So the extra spin and pop,
More.
the outward motion is going to keep it straighter longer.
Yeah, just to keep it out there. But it's quick, right?
She does not want to over curl here, because if Tracy can hit what she can see of the one top button, she can probably lie shot rock and they'll never be able to get it out. Be almost an automatic steal. So you see the extra rotation there from Tracy, and the tendency when you do that is to throw it harder. So we'll see if she can match the spin with the speed.
Oh, line's good, line's good.
Don't want to line, uh-oh. Oh no. Get it off that yellow one. Don't let it sit there. Oh, that is all kinds of bad, unfortunately. So that's the tendency. Right idea, when you put extra spin on it, it goes farther.
That leaves that there. Right?
I'm
That
not-
leaves that there. That doesn't know. We got to do this.
Yeah. It's a nose hit. I guess the weight doesn't really matter.
Because then she's just got that out. So. Okay, so
That was the way to throw it, I think.
Just gonna play it soft.
to hear more ice, right?
It's kind of edge on edge with the guard, so the weight doesn't really matter. The only thing is whether or not you're gonna leave your shooter or this red one in a spot they can come off of, but it's unlikely. But that's a lot of ice. She's.
Tap, hair more
Depends
weight.
how hard she hits this, but oh, she's almost not.
I don't think there's any risk. I think this shot's a lot easier with more weight. To me, it looks like a kind of a board weight shot, even control weight. Just hit it high.
Throwing quiet at it.
I think the quieter you throw it, the harder the shot gets. But I've been wrong 19 times out of 20 today, so I would fully expect Tracy to make this. She's throwing that hard and taking lots of ice, and I don't think this is very close, unfortunately, for Team Northern O. It's one of those ones where you want to make sure you have enough weight to tap it, but she took so much ice that the extra weight just makes it run straight. That's why I think it was so much easier with take the guesswork out. She made it a line and a weight shot rather than just saying, I just got to get this rock on line with hit weight.
Can't harm anything, hey?
Not that it was the wrong call, it just made it a lot harder.
Full
Well,
four.
I could have, if I was throwing more weight, I probably should have taken less ice.
I don't see
Would have been fine.
I don't see a shot for 3 here. Silver lining, but Northern Ontario is certainly going to be down, barring a
Yeah.
disaster here from BC skip Leanne Andrews, but
Okay. Same weight then, hey? Yeah.
I'm not sure where she's drawn to here. Have it just get by top button, red one, and finish. Has to get half buried behind that one. The ice is great. So who knows, but it doesn't look possible to me.
Nice, kid. All you guys.
And this is tight. So it will be a score of 2 from BC, and they will take a 5-2 lead into the 7th end and take a stranglehold in this game. We'll be back in a few seconds for the 7th end action.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Everest Funeral Concierge Canadian Senior Curling Championships, live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. An interesting end there in the 6th end. 6th end is always a key end in the 8-end games. You know, one way or the other, something important is going to happen. And both teams had opportunities. I like the aggression from BC and Leanne Andrews and her team. And it worked out in the end with a score of 2 points and a 3-point lead with only 2 ends to go. So certainly a big advantage in this game. So quick update around the rings. We've got a great game going on Sheet E right in front of me here. Yukon and Manitoba on the ladies' side, 5-5. After a 2-steal from Manitoba, Yukon answers with a deuce of their own in 6, and Manitoba tied with the Hammer playing 7. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, just figuring out as the smoke settles there, but it looks like Nova Scotia's well in control of that game. They were up 3 with playing the 6th end, and looks like they scored maybe even multiple points. And Quebec, Nova Scotia, a blank in 5 on the men's side. So Quebec,
Make sure we're not behind T.
no, actually Nova Scotia has the hammer. My apologies. And I see X's on the board.
Yep.
Saskatchewan with a solid effort,
Yep.
beating a solid
Yep,
Newfoundland
right in,
team.
Full in,
Looks
full
like
in.
9-2 after 6 ends, and they're off to the Everest Funeral Concierge Lounge, where everybody's trying to get to, but only half of these teams get to go there happy. So back to our sheet, BC calling the first one top 4, coming up a little bit short, just top 12. Could be used as a guard later in the end with ice this good. So Team Northern Ontario's got to throw it all on the table now, right? They got nothing to lose.
Okay,
Need a
that's good.
bit of a big comeback here, a bit of a miracle almost,
Okay,
down 3.
watch it.
So need to score 2 points or more here, give themselves a chance in the last end, a realistic chance. There's always a chance in our crazy game. But realistically, they need to score 2 points here. They'd love a 3 to be tied up coming home and give themselves a chance to steal the victory. But BC's going to try and stop that from happening. They're going to tap up the first one here. BC lead Kathy Chapman. Going to try and tap this right on the nose into the forefoot and line them up. And the whole idea here when you're up, the reason you put them in the middle near the center line, shot rock, second shot rock, is you want the other team to have to deal with these eventually.
Line's great. Hard.
They can't just keep going around their corner guard. This is a good looking shot if it's hard enough, and I think it is.
Nice shot.
It's a very good shot, and I don't know if that's even in the ring, so it can't be hit. Not that I think Northern Ontario is going to hit it anyway, so I don't think it matters.
Can do that or just straight draw.
It's always easier to draw to a spot than it is to hit and roll to a spot. I like this call.
Okay, you got room.
Intern come around. Sweeper's on it early,
You got
which
room here.
generally tells me it's light.
Yep.
Line will get there if the weight's good. It's curling
well.
lots. Needs to actually stop curling and sit down. Pretty good come around. They can see it on the outside, but they can't hit that guard and take it out of play or it goes back. So there is risk if they want to chase it.
Oh, edge on edge.
So you can see most of it. Sounds like they're going to take on this chase on the wide side.
Yeah. I think hack's good.
This one's a shot if I'm throwing it. I know if I get the weight right, if I throw hack weight, I can throw this almost anywhere wide. I just can't be tight.
Yep. Yep.
And I called hard out of her hand.
Hard. Hard.
See if the
really
sweepers
hard.
can hold it here for her and save it.
Hard, 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 hard. Really hard. Hard, 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 hard. Yep. You got it. Yep. Hard.
Oh, great
hard,
sweep.
Hard, hard, hard. Whoa.
Fantastic shot. Rolled into the 4
Nice
foot.
shot. Good sweep, you guys.
That's a fantastic shot. That rock's going to cause problems for Northern Ontario. They can't really freeze to it. The guards are in the way. They kind of just got to go around the corner guard again. They need something buried or something frozen.
We still got time to play with these.
Some more bells you hear in the background. Anytime you hear the bells, that's typically Nova Scotia making a good shot. They've got Quebec in all kinds of trouble. Forcing Francois Roberge, I think on his last one of the end in 6th, in a tied game, without the hammer, to play a come around, a rock top 12 with Nova Scotia lying 4.
Okay, whoa, you got room.
The good news is if he makes this, there's not a lot of ways to get it out.
Where is it? Yep. Yep.
Back on the center sheet. Good looking come around here. If they got the weight, the line is certainly good. This looks like a great shot.
Just
Needs
watch
to
it.
stop
Yeah, D.
curling.
Yep, yep. Keep going, keep going. Okay.
It's a solid come around. I don't know that they can see the edge of that, but that's certainly a tough chase. Probably going to see a peel called here.
Let me just play here.
What do you know, Brent? We're not going to peel.
You like that?
Just going to guard her. She's got one buried in a great spot, top 4. So there's nothing wrong with this call. I think the playbook calls for a peel the corner guard, even tick on your center one in the rings. But playbook can go out the window if you make all your shots. Sometimes, you know, putting more pressure on is the key, is the answer.
Hey, whoa,
This
whoa.
one's over curling and light, I think. This is advantage Northern Ontario here.
Yeah, it's over curling there.
Making sure that that
Little bump.
yellow one is buried, even hooking the guards.
Okay. It's good. That's fine.
A bit of a disaster there. That's certainly not a good shot. Opportunity here for Northern Ontario to score multiple points. Need a couple big shots, though.
We have to try and get rid of this now.
This is what I'm talking about. Those ones in the middle,
We could have taken the guard.
even
I
with a
think you could
miss,
even go
are
that
still
way.
causing trouble.
Normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a game shot here. I hate to skip over to the other sheet, but
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
game
whoa.
shot in hand for Nova Scotia here. Looks like a difficult shot for 4 or 5. That would certainly lead to handshakes if there's 5. Get ready for the bell, fans. Nova Scotia's about to get loud. What a shot. Just a fantastic shot for 4, I believe. On our sheet, not a good result at all. Unfortunate, unforced error there. When you have the opportunity, you want to come up and you want to make the other team pay for that mistake and chip the guard. Not only did we miss the shot, we chipped the guard to a spot
Can you let
that
it work a little?
out-counted the one that we had that was buried.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard, hard, hard. Now drag it all the way. All the way. Keep it
Now
coming.
BC
Yep,
can
keep it
switch
coming.
on the
All way.
offense
You got
and
it. Yep. Hard.
throw the
Hard,
straight
hard, hard,
guard.
hard. Right up. Right up. Right up. Yep. Hard, 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 hard. Little more. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Great sweep, you guys.
Left it open on the
Okay.
wrong side, though. A chance again for Northern Ontario. 2's certainly still on the table. Gonna make a hit and roll here behind the corner guards. Might not be shot rock, but might not matter just yet. Northern Ontario third Peggy Taylor with a big shot here. If her team wants any chance of winning this game, probably gonna need to make this one.
Whoa,
Looks like she got this lefty in turn outside. Gonna need an
Hardy.
audible potentially.
Hardy.
Slip double. Hello. Okay. Not what was called, but not entirely terrible for sure. Shot rock wide open. But that rock that was back forefoot there was going to cause them some trouble. Just not sure from my angle if they did chip that red one pretty buried. So getting to be desperate times here for Northern O, but never count out the Moose. The Northern Ontario Moose call is due.
Hey, whoa, whoa. Nice. That's good. That's good. Rolling away.
One thing's for sure, it's not going to be a blank end. A lot of rocks in play, lots of guards up there.
That was fine too. That's good.
Looks like she could, yeah, that's the shot.
Nice throw.
Peggy could make a difficult hack weight chase here.
Hung, 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 hung,
You can
eh?
see the hit and roll there on the replay. Difficult hack weight chase.
No,
But-
no. Go bump.
Bumper weight, playing the hit and roll to the shooter that Jen just threw on the hit and roll, and you can roll buried and frozen and really set up a deuce.
Maybe half weight or something at this.
Yep. Yep. Hard, Lise. Hard. Hard. Keep going.
This is like a magnet to that
Keep
corner
going,
guard,
Hart.
unfortunately. That one didn't roll off, so big trouble here for Northern Ontario, unfortunately. Unless you're a BC fan, then hey,
Staggering in a
you're
bit.
super happy to see what's going on here because they got a great
Navigate
chance
that
here to
court.
steal and really put this game out of reach.
So here, I think right here is good.
Really impressed with Leanne Andrews and her understanding of the game tonight. Lots of good calls. I mean, there's always A, B, and C options, but seemed to really be able to think her way through it and pick the shot that made sense for them for the, you know, with reasons.
Hangs for so long and then it goes. Yeah.
But if she can make a good draw here,
Real quick, hey, yeah.
really no way for Tracy Larocque to get in there and score, let alone score a deuce, which is really quite important. Down two without the hammer coming home is really delaying the inevitable 99 times out of 100.
Where is it?
Got it on a good line. If this has the right weight, this is perfect. And it does. That is fantastic. So if you're yellow here, how do you get into the forefoot?
Good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
didn't.
gonna have to,
It didn't
I don't
poke,
know,
so
wick off
yeah.
that to get to here.
Super difficult. She could play as, you can hear Tracy, I don't know if you could hear it.
I know, but it did.
Out turn through the hole, similar to what Peggy tried. Just with like backline weight and chip and roll into
Oh,
the
we can try it,
forefoot.
but if it wicks off, it comes here, right?
This is all kinds of difficult. Desperate times.
Yeah. It's gonna think it's gonna show a little bit. It's rough for me.
So out turn through the hole. I'm not sure that she can draw right through there with as much curl as there is. I think it will hit the one top 8 foot. So I think she has to throw.
Well, we're trying to draw
Here it is.
to the back there, to the back behind, but I think it's gonna curl too much. But if we get that wick off,
Yeah.
it rolls crosswards over to the other
I
side.
think she's right. And I think because of that,
Close to the,
you need a little bit of extra weight here where if you go through the hole, you're going to hate it.
and then not crash on the other ones.
But
Yeah.
you hear a little giggle there. She knows how difficult this shot is. This is, you know, a 1 in 10er at best.
Flip it out.
Need back line. Got to get real close to the center guard.
Watch it.
This
watch
isn't
it.
far off. I think they need to be sweeping this.
Yep.
And I think they lost it.
Yeah. Yeah, hard,
Hard,
ladies, hard,
ladies.
hard.
Get in there. What a curling shot that is. That's just a fantastic shot from Tracy Larocque. Now we'll see here.
Tries that again.
Does Leanne see the opportunity to, it's difficult,
No, one's not horrible.
but if she can hit what she can see of her red one she just threw that
can't
Tracy
we
just
can't do
chipped,
this
it'll go
stuff, eh?
off the red into that yellow, I believe.
Well, even if we tap this to here,
But a miss would open up the deuce, and I get what she's seeing. How does she get 2 right now is the question they're asking themselves. She opened up that same out-turn draw, so that's definitely there. They could guard that, and I don't see how she gets 2.
I mean, she's got nothing over here, right? Well, let's just guard it. Yeah, do
I
that.
think it makes some sense.
And then we force the 1.
She will have
Yeah.
the yellow guard tap through the
Yeah.
tight hole to the 4-foot for 2,
We could come the other way too, and then come into ours.
and it will be the
Maybe we
best
could do that.
skips
Go
deuce,
there,
really
like
as good a
it
skips
comes
deuce as
in.
you'll ever
Go
see.
this way. Okay. Yeah.
Blocking the draw, so I can't do it again.
This way she can't only get the 1. I mean, we could try and advance ours over on that side, but yeah. She could try
So here
that
comes
chip
the
again,
guard.
and it might-
Just trying to guard basically the same shot that Tracy just threw. But since she chipped the red, it's just a straight guard or straight draw through the hole for 2.
Well, if you can.
So just looking for the red rock to be anywhere guarding that hole between the red and the yellow guards, so that Tracy can't just follow down through there again. And I think she's done that. Mission accomplished. Good shot. So you can see there's really only one option. And it's an extremely difficult shot. Though if the last one was 1 in 10,
I could probably get to that.
she might be able to draw there. Yeah, I think she's right. That draw's there. That's difficult too. That
Do
tap,
that or punch that one, that's tougher.
that's definitely tougher. I like her in-turn draw call. I think that tap to the 4-foot, if the last one was a 1 in 10,
Get there.
and I don't, I'm not an official odds maker here, folks, so don't take my word for it, but I'm going to call that tap in the middle guard
Yeah.
to the 4-foot through that hole. I got to think that's at least a 1 in 50. That's about as hard as a curling shot that you could make.
It's a risky shot.
Okay, just kind of watch the weight because it's
Think-
going to hang forever until
This one
it breaks hard.
is makeable. You
Hit
see that
the-
little
hit
piece
the
of the
4-foot.
4-foot sticking out. If they end up touching that, which,
Like a good,
as
really
crazy
good
as it
rubber-
sounds, if the weight is right, it won't be that hard to get at least a third buried behind that rock in the top 8-foot, top 4-foot even, because if it gets anywhere near it, the finish is so good that it'll get the right line. So as a sweeper, you just got to get the line right. And if they say hard, carve it for line, I would ignore them, because I think it will curl if the weight is right. A little heavy. She had the right idea, but I think it's just a little bit too heavy. I think if that's the right weight, she's got it right on line. A hard-earned 1 point here for Northern Ontario to cut the deficit to 2 points, 5-3 BC. BC with the hammer heading to the 8th end, and we'll be right back to cover the final end of the action here.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the action here at the Everest Senior Canadian Curling Championships. We've been watching a great game here, lots of back and forth between BC and Northern Ontario on the ladies' side. Down to the final, well, maybe the final end here if BC has their way here. Up 2 points with the hammer. Certainly they've got, you know, half of that W written down already. But like I said earlier, anything can happen. So Northern Ontario are going to throw out all the stops. They need a couple of center guards.
okay.
They're going to need some breaks.
Yep,
They're going to
hard.
need some luck. They're going to need some misses
Yep,
from
hard.
BC. But 2 steals
Yep,
can
keep
happen in this
going.
game. Got to get the 2 center guards up. This
Oh.
one has to get over the hog line, and it does. So as much as that looks like almost a disaster, that's a great shot. Lots of room to throw the next center guard. Updates around the world here. We got Quebec, Nova Scotia on the men's game. As I mentioned, just a fantastic shot from Nova Scotia. Oh, what a shot from Quebec. This game is wild over here, folks. This one should be on TSN. We've got a 6-2 lead for Nova Scotia, but as wild as it sounds, there's a chance for 3, maybe 4 right back here for Quebec after a fantastic shot from Francois Roberge.
I don't mind back here.
But Nova Scotia with a chance to make a little taps into a pocket here to take that all away.
Anything short.
Saskatchewan, as I said, with a big win over Newfoundland on the men's side. Nova Scotia, actually it was a steal
T-line. Either shorter or back.
in 6, so they're only up 1, and it looks like they got forced to 1, so they're going to be up 3 coming home, I believe, without the hammer on New Brunswick. And wow, a massive, massive end in the 7th end, tied at 5. Manitoba gives up a steal of 3 to Yukon to be down 3 with the hammer coming home. Desperate times for Manitoba in what has been a really back and forth
Okay,
game
just
by the look of
guys, watch it.
the scoreboard. So as predicted, a second guard here, and mission accomplished. Great shots from Deanna Hicklin here in the final end to give her team a chance. More bells, which, as we know, means another fantastic shot from Nova Scotia to take away a big end. So BC's chosen here. Leanne Andrews and her squad have chosen to try and beat Northern Ontario into the 4-foot here.
Just full 12.
Up to with, you definitely don't want any more guards.
Where are we?
I think a lot of teams might
Yep,
play the
build
chip
it,
shot
yep,
here,
yep,
but
tuck it a
nothing
bit.
wrong with this. Put the
Yep.
pressure on Northern Ontario.
Yep.
2
Nice
good
shot.
shots
Good
again
sneakers.
by lead Kathy Chapman, but those are potentially problem rocks as well. As much as they're made shots, got 2 centers and kind of staggered red ones. Northern Ontario here is going to have a chance to lie too eventually if they make their shots, because we know if they make this come around, BC's going to peel the top one, then they're going to get a chance to come around again, and then BC's probably going to peel again, and they're going to be lying 2 in the 4-foot and shooting. But that's only on the chalkboard. We got to do it out on the ice now. You got to make these shots. It's great to know what to do. You got to be able to do it. Looks like they think
Yep,
this
keep
one's
going.
light. They've been sweeping this one pretty much from the get-go.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
If
that's
it
good,
is
that's
light,
good,
it's
that's
not
good.
it's not disaster. It's a miss, but it's, you call that a pro side miss. And we've got handshakes over there for the hometown favorites, Nova Scotia, with a steal after a great shot from their skipper to seal that one 7-2 over Quebec and hand Quebec their first loss in a battle amongst 2 of the top teams, 2 of the certainly the favorites. We've got an overcurl here, but the result is the same. That's a 4 out of 4. That's a made shot. Wanted to peel the top one, and they did it. So another chance here, though. Northern Ontario. Got to get this one buried. Needs to be at least out counting the top one. Really needs to be shot rock. But second, Lisa Penner just threw this shot, so I'd expect her to be very close. Just needs some more weight. The line was great. Just needs to make the adjustment on the speed. Sweeper's diving in again. Tells me that
line.
maybe she didn't add quite enough.
Yep. Where is it? Where is it? You got room. You got room.
I wouldn't worry about the line, ladies. It's going to curl. Get the
Okay, go.
speed right, and I think you're going to be happy.
Yep.
This one looks like a
Go,
really good
Harvey.
shot.
Go hard, D.
Room for two. Got to make room
Yep,
for
go
two.
Go hard, Kate. Good. That's fine.
Not quite room for two, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but let's see what happens. We got a double peel here. Potential, but it could also go back into those reds, so stay tuned here, folks. This isn't over just yet.
Whoa. Yep.
Attempting the double peel,
Yep.
but
Hard.
like I said, if this could easily go back in the rings like that.
Okay. Yes. It's good.
Not bad, though. Lying second and third, I mean, certainly Northern Ontario has to guard. No, I should never say certainly in our game, because every time I say certainly, they do something different.
You're just tapping, eh?
So tap to the red one. Would be good if they could make this shot. Nothing wrong with this. I would have thought they would have at least thrown one more guard. There is a double there on the reds to lie 3 late, which is a
Back 8.
bit of a dream for Northern
Back
Ontario.
eight
If you
is
can
fine.
lie 3 here, down 2, maybe get a hit and roll out, and that's usually the best way to steal 2 is to lie 3 and have them hit and roll out. See how this goes. Third Peggy Taylor
you
here,
got room
trying to
here.
throw T-line weight.
Yeah, D. Yeah, D. D.
This
Yeah.
one really curling.
Yep, hard. Yep,
Really
real hard,
curling.
D. Real hard, real hard. Hard on
Maybe
that one.
bump
Lee.
it to
Hard on
the
that
other one.
Hard on that one. Okay.
Shooter rolls to a not good spot. Very makeable double. Not going to take it on by the looks of
I
it.
think this is fine. Even
Okay.
here is good. Normal.
Be a little bit concerned leaving the yellows around. I think if you hit that right in the crotch and take care of the 2 yellows, you're probably never going to have to throw against 3.
Yep.
Certainly still a good situation to hit in line 3 here.
Hard. Hard, hard, hard. Yep. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's good, you guys.
Called
Very
and
nice.
made. And so I think if I'm Northern Ontario, I might tap that wide yellow one back 4, back
I don't know
8.
here.
It's really
I
difficult.
think you can come here.
Okay. Really difficult for them to get rid of that yellow one that's kind of top 8, top 12. But certainly easy for them to get rid of the wide open one. Tough shot here. But if Peggy can pull it off, it'll be a difficult one to remove.
Okay, line's good. Where's the weight? Yeah, Leaf.
They like
Okay,
the
well,
line.
Yeah,
Line-
Leaf.
Oh,
Yeah,
just took a
Leaf, yeah.
big move there.
Yeah,
Looked like almost
hard.
a soft pick.
Yeah, hard.
Maybe a split
Yep.
the yellow and roll
Okay,
buried.
whoa.
I like it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that second shot. Hard to hit.
Poor shot.
Interesting end here, considering the
Maybe
scoreboard.
try that. Stop nose.
Trying the double.
Even if we sit here, that's okay. But we'll try the double.
Okay, we've got action here, folks. Don't turn off your sets just yet if you're still with me. A nose hit here or a high side and not make the double like a jam leaves the opportunity for Northern Ontario to get another one in there. 2 shots left. Still rather be BC if I'm trying to win this game, but down 2 without.
Hard.
This is almost as good as
Whoa,
it gets.
Whoa. Yes, yes.
But it sounds like Jen Routliff might crush their dreams here. Not quite. So we need Tracy needs another one of her magic backline chip and rolls.
I have to move.
I really had to worry about was not
think-
jamming it.
But she's got that.
Because-
But should leave one maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know. But still, so close.
So if I'm Northern Ontario here, you know, I'm excited because the game's not over yet, and a lot of times by this point with this scoreboard it is.
Enough that way, right? Like I have to move it to there.
Yeah.
But it looks like a back liner here. Hit a quarter stone, roll to the, you know, the tee line,
Didn't like coming through the hole.
and lie two, neither one of which will be wide open.
Fine calling you to get the double.
And still have another one top 8 foot that, you know, it'll only be 4th shot, but something you can hit and roll in off of that has a catcher too. So,
Little,
Push that red back a little bit, roll under.
like I said, keep those eyes open for another couple minutes here with me, folks.
maybe she's doing like half and then. Could do that. Hit around a bit. We could have done the run back on here. Well, we have to get rid of that top one.
See if Tracy's got some more magic here. I think this one
Here it
needs
comes.
swept.
Stay close. Yep.
This one looks tight. Really gotta go. But
Whoa.
she's close.
Whoa.
I don't
Yep,
think
yep,
Woe's
yep.
right.
Yep. Hard D. Okay. Whoa. Whoa.
What a great shot. Putting some pressure on her. Lying 2, down 2 without the hammer. I think they're lying 2. Hard to say.
Yeah, we come the same way you did.
Short run back, but
Normal.
like I said before the end started, Northern Ontario needs one thing. Here you can see just gets by the top one. Oh, actually touches it, which gives her a bit better roll. So if that gets by, it probably doesn't roll as far, but
Pretty much knows, actually.
so if you're Northern Ontario here, you want to hear a whoa out of her hand. Anything kind of nose or low side, especially if she hits about half low here, like centerline side, she's going to make the run double and the game's going to be over. But you're making her shoot. And if she hits it high, even if she were to nose it, you're going to have a chance.
Close. Close.
Sounds like she likes it. A very good shot.
Same thing, I think.
Yeah, but she does have the same shot.
Need to come up just a touch more.
Okay, same weight, right?
It's a very good shot from Leanne. Staying for shot rock was key, and you can see she hit it a little bit on the outside for Furby if he's watching, which is the high side, Randy. And what that did was opened up the back one that little bit extra, even just that extra inch or two, so that if this does come off in Northern Ontario's favor and they roll buried, you might be able to just hit the back one, or she might have the exact same shot. But if your Northern Ontario can make her throw a run back on one top 12 against 2, that's the best you can really hope for. Interesting end here. A lot of great shots being made. See if Tracy can make one more of these soft weight chip and rolls. I would expect her to be close, and it looks close. I think they got to sweep this. I think they got to sweep this. Really got to go here.
Hard! Okay.
Oh, just feathered it, and that's the ball game, folks. Just a little bit light, I think, as it turned out. I don't know why they're not shaking hands yet. And a fantastic game and a big win for BC. Well played by both teams. Lots of entertaining shots. And thanks for hanging out with us for a couple hours tonight. And thanks for supporting the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. I'm Brent Lang signing off for tonight. And we will see you tomorrow. I believe there are 4 games streamed, 4 draws streamed tomorrow. I'll see you for 3 of those. And again, thanks very much and enjoy your night. Big win for BC.